Good afternoon to everyone. We are from UDEM. We are from Mexico. I'm the Vice President for Academic Affairs, and with me is Diego Lozano, the Director of the Research Office, and David Gutiérrez, who used to work in UDEM and now is working in Elsevier, and we collaborate with him in order to use this platform in a proper way. So our participation, as you see, is called UDEM's Research Strategy, Fostering Societal Impact and Moving Beyond Traditional Metrics. And yes, this is because we, as the title says, we're moving in our strategy from measuring the research in terms of quantity to a way of inviting our people, our faculty, to do a research more based on social impact. We are a private nonprofit and Catholic university of 55 years old. We were founded by 5 religious congregations. And as you see, just to give you a picture, we count with an incredible location and a privileged landscape, and also some good architecture, as that building designed by a Pritzker Prize, Tadao Ando. So, and for those who doesn't know where UDEM is, we are in the north of Mexico, close to the border to the States, 2 hours by car. And our campus is around 100 acres, 50 hectares. And in the last 4 years, we planted more than 1,000 trees in the new landscape, and we created a kind of like a nice ecosystem in the campus. Our city is called the Industrial City of Monterrey, the Industrial City of Mexico, sorry, and it's growing around more than 100,000 citizens every year. So in the last 5 years, is much more. In the last 5 years, it grew up 1 million people. So we have our problem in Monterrey or in Nuevo León is mobility. So as you see, there are several new vertical developments coming up. But that character gives us a lot of contact with industry. So we have a lot of opportunities to work and collaborate with business in terms of research. So this is part of our campus from a bird view, and we will be more than happy to see you and to show you the campus from a pedestrian point of view. And we are organized in divisions in the schools. I will not go through the numbers, but just to let you know that every school has a group of people, researchers, that we call it the helpers of the research direction. So we collaborate with them in order to have a good communications with we have around more than 200 researchers in the university. So every division have a group formed by 3 people, and those are our allies. And actually, we are in a process of evaluating our educational model, which is formed by a curricular model, a competence-based pedagogical model, and a comprehensive training model. So during this year, we are doing assessment of every aspect, as minors, of majors, of direction, internationality, everything, and we are setting the gap where we actually are and where we want to be. And in the next year, we want to start a new execution plan to update the educational model. And just to give you a bit of context of the research situation in our university, in 2019, we created a strategic plan with Boston Consulting Group, and we came out with 133 initiatives out of that plan, and one of them was targeted research. So for us, it was important to do a research which is strategic for our institution. So it was established a strategic transformation office, and I was assigned to run and to lead that. Well, I'm looking you don't see anything in there, okay. But I'm just related. But that is supposed to be a nice diagram of a timeline. But anyway, so I think it's better just to give the word to the director of the research to explain how what happened in the middle of the time. Thank you.
Okay, so sorry for the chart. I think in the translation to PowerPoint, it moved a little bit. So what we have a situation in a particular situation in Mexico that, in addition to we were having a new strategy, we have a political situation that the Mexican government just suspended all support and grants for the private universities, including all the support for the researchers. So that gave us the push we needed to implement our strategy. And our strategy in 2022 was to implement an incentive program for the researchers. And then in 2023, we basically started with a new assessment of the researchers, which includes different metrics, including, of course, publications, but in addition to publications, all these activities related to research. In 2024, we established research centers, and for 2025, we are having a specific assessment for research in arts and humanities. So the strategic goal is to be a university that transcends in society through research projects. So we have to contribute to the problems of our society, as Carlos says, mobility, pollution, and also in health problems in our local context. So we are trying to focus on these SDGs, good health, quality education, industry innovation, sustainability, reducing inequities, and we have another one that is not SDGs, in art and culture, because our university has a strong faculty in art and humanities. So these are the research centers we are just beginning to work with. So in the past, we were working as single researchers or small groups, and we are having now research centers in the different fields. And what we have, the situation we have is during the pandemic and after the pandemic, we were seeing that the researchers weren't too active a little in different fields. So typically the motivators for the researchers are typically the academic survival, which means they want to keep the position at the faculty, and they are looking for publications and conference assistants. And then there are other motivators that are the ego identity and at least the social impact. And what we want to do is how is possible that we can invert the pyramid, and the main motivator could be societal impact. So I don't think you can look, but it's societal impact. So we can have different assessment if it's possible to change the assessment to change the behavior of the researchers. So the main goal is not the publication, but the main goal is to have a benefit to society, and in the pathway they have to publish, of course. So in 2023 we have this assessment. So we were having 25% of the assessment and the publications, but we have another type like prices, students, a specific kind of projects, external funding, and knowledge transfer. That's in 2023. How it went. The first year, this rubric favored the hard science, medical, and engineering. So we have to adjust the rubric, because for the arts, humanities, and social science, it was not the best one. And in this particular assessment in 2023, it was the leverage that we used with the researchers to get all the information in pure. Because before we have these assessments mandatory. Well, it's not mandatory, but if you don't have the information in pure, we cannot evaluate, assess them. So we receive in a couple of months like almost 2,700 different kind of products from a group of 100 researchers. So it was a lot. And then for the next year, we modified the rubric, the assessment, in order to balance all the fields. And in this particular assessment, we have 30% for the publications, and we increase in the students, because we have good researchers with a lot of publications, but they didn't involve, not all involve graduate students or undergraduate students. So we want them to be, as our mission as a university, to have the students. And then we have the projects and the external funding a little bit changed because of the need. And for 2025, we are having the assessment specifically on arts and humanities, as you might see here. And we changed in production here. We have different type of content. So here we have like exhibitions and other kind of prizes that the artists gain. But we maintain the 20 points from the students. And what we are having here, particularly in projects, it will be impact of the projects. And so we are start measuring. So at the end, what we are saying is some universities ask for the professors to publish 2 or 3 articles per year. We are asking them if they can publish 2 articles in 3 years, but for good quality, Q1, that's fine. They got all the points. And we have one example I gave last year is we have one professor that published in 5 years 37 articles, but has no more activity on the other topics, so he has 30% of the assessment. We don't want that kind of quantity, we want quality instead. And this, David will explain how the different type of content is loaded in.
Hello? Okay. All right. Well, given this context and all these adjustments, it was important to define and to communicate to the researchers and to the creative researchers where they were going to register the information in Pure. So this is the way that the research assessment worked before. We identified the content types in Pure for each criteria. And this is the new rubric where it's being used for creative assessment. So on production, what Diego mentioned, we have other kind of products that could be registered. So we identified that some of them could be under research outputs, other ones could be under activities. For prices, some of them could be under prices, some of them are more like funding or recognition, so it could be under awards. For the students, it is the same than the other assessment, but on the students we can find participation on their research outputs as co-authors, as participants in projects, or on their student thesis. For knowledge transfer, different activities can be found on activities, press media, and impact. So in order to to facilitate the adoption of the creative researchers, a representatives from the creative researchers group work on a list of the types of the outputs that they wanted to see in Pure. So when we talk about changing the research output types, we have to be careful. We cannot make a lot of changes. There are limitations. For example, we cannot create new types, but we can change or adjust some names. We can create subtypes, but it's important to know that some types are tied to the way Pure works. So when we analyzed this list, we found that a lot of them were a non-textual form. And if you know, there is a type already that it's called non-textual form. So what we did is just adjust the name. Now it is called creative output / non-textual form. And we added as a subtype all this list that the representatives worked. Something similar was made for projects. So a new type was created for creative projects, and a lot of subtypes are there too. So the challenges implementing these are similar to the ones that we can find during an implementation, because we were adding a new group and we had to engage them. We had to understand what were the needs and then explore what were the options to meet those requirements, to communicate and train the creative researchers, and then follow up and to see if everything was working as expected, and persuade or see ways on how the researchers could organize and fill all these new types created.
So concluding remarks, after we are running these assessments using Pure, we have a more complete landscape of all the activities we weren't aware. We have an important number of students that are participating in research beyond the thesis. There, we were now having this information. And also, we are making, or we are trying to make a cultural change in the community, that they focus more on the impact, on the final impact, than only the publication and the knowledge exchange. Because typically, when you talk with the researchers, what's the plan for your research? They tell you, my plan is to publish 2 articles or go to 3 conferences. And that's not what we want to hear. We want to hear, we are going to make this change, and by the way, we are going to publish and go to the conference. But we want to hear this change. And the final point is, we are trying to understand all kinds of contributions of different disciplines, and just giving them the tools to place them and include it in the assessment. Thank you.
Any questions from the audience?
Thanks, Diego. So when you referred to students as a metric within the rubric, what does that mean? Does it mean like the faculty were evaluated by the students on the quality of their teaching, or does it mean the number of students supervised or something?
So we are assessing the researchers, the faculty. Mm-hmm. So they have to include in which activities they are, for research activities, they are including students.
So bringing students into the research process.
Yeah, could be advisory in thesis, could be, we have different kind of projects. If they show evidence of the students participating in the project, even though it's not a thesis, mm-hmm. we can count it.
Yeah. And my other question was about the rubric. So with I think you might have explained it last year, but like, is this a rubric for evaluating annual evaluation of faculty for the pay performance? Is it about promotions only, or just like which faculty evaluation process is this related to?
Well, it's not all the faculty. This is a voluntary assessment, exclusively for research, mm-hmm. but we have an incentive plan, so they have a certain kind of reward.
Kind of like a bonus plan, or?
Yeah, it's a bonus,
gotcha.
Right.
Thank you.
Hi, nice presentation. Thank you very much. I am from Ecuador, Universidad San Francisco de Quito. I would like to ask, how do you get the final grade or the final points? It's a weighted calculation, but how do you manage the type of research, or if it's one or two students, or the level or the quality of the prizes, how it works at the end, this weighting?
So we have a double click on each one of the its criteria. So for instance, in publications, if you are first author or co-author in a article that is in K1, you get 15 points. If you are third position or fourth position, you get less points. Or if you're Q2 or Q3, then for the students, depending if it's an undergraduate or PhD, you get different kind of points. So you have to gather a lot of evidence, and then you reach the points. But as I mentioned, the idea here for the publication is that a professor that can publish 2 articles as a first author or corresponding author in the K1 can get the 30 points. So they don't have to worry for publishing 4 articles per year. So that's not the idea. The idea is that you have time for going for the impact. Is the idea. I can show you later on the calculations that we have.
Thank you very much. It would be really useful. And do you manage all these calculations with data from Pure, or Pure is just one data source for making this analysis?
So currently, Pure is the data source. So we have all these products and keywords for the products, and then we have to download the report and then work it in Excel. You're welcome.
One last question, and then we'll have to wrap up.
Diego, Carlos, David, thank you so much. What has been the faculty's perception of the program? How many were willing to participate? How many achieved 100%, or if any achieved 100 points? What's been the faculty's perspective on the program?
Well, the faculty is participating because they are having a reward, so they are grateful on that regard. They always have some feedback on how we evaluate them. That's natural, and everyone wants the highest level, and that's not possible. That doesn't is the intention, because if we are all 100, then why is the assessment useful? So the idea is to be adjusting the rubric every year, so we can pull the faculty through a different level through the years.
As from the university, we approve a certain quantity of money for this project. So because of the situation in Mexico, where the researchers they don't get anymore, those who are in private universities, they don't get anymore that money from the government. So we did this effort to give like this quantity of money for all of them every year, but based on this rubric. So for us, it's very important for the student. That could be the material, the pedagogical material, or that they are involved in the researchers or in the research projects that they are doing. So for us, it's very important also that. So that is a way to motivate them. The money, of course, but also then if they go, we have also a classification A, B, C. So if you are A, or you are B, or you are C, also it depends, for example, how we can help you in mobility if you go to a congress. So we can pay everything, or we can pay the taxi, the meals, everything, or maybe the school pays. I mean, and that is the budget of the school, no? The school can pay the hotel, these kind of things. Also, we do it. We linked different politics with this rubric in order to motivate the professors to enter into the system. And the academic classification and the academic load is also linked with this politic. Yeah.
All right, so thank you so much to the presenters and thank you everybody for joining.